Okay, today we're going to talk about how to represent functions as a rule and a table. So this first little slide says, when you pump gas, the total cost depends on the number of gallons pumped. The total cost is a function of the number of gallons pumped. Okay, so a function consists of two things: a set called the domain, okay, which is containing the numbers called inputs, and then a set of numbers called the range, which is the numbers that are the outputs, and a pairing of inputs with outputs such that each input is paired with exactly one output. Okay, so domain is what you're putting in, range is what you're getting out, and every input can only have one output. So let's look at a couple examples so you can see what I'm talking about here. Okay, it says example 1. The input-output table shows the cost of various amounts of regular unleaded gas from the same pump. Identify the domain and range of the function. Okay, so 10 gallons is $19.99. 12 gallons is $23.99. 13, okay, and on and on and on. So the domain are the inputs. So 10, 12, 13, and 17. And then the range is made up of the outputs. So 19.99, 23.99, 25.99, and 33.98. So domain and then range. So example 2, identify the domain and the range. The domain are all of these inputs, 0, 1, 2, 4, and the outputs are 5, 2, 2, and 1. So now we're going to look at a mapping diagram. So it says a function may be represented by a mapping diagram. Notice that an output may be paired with more than one input, but no input is paired with more than one output. Okay, so, and that's a lot of like put words, but what it's saying is that 1 is only pointing to 0, 2 is only pointing to 1, 3 is only pointing to 2, and 4 is only pointing to 2. So even though these two are pointing to the same number, right, for each of the inputs is only pointing toward one output. Okay, so what is not a function is like this example. Okay, because look, 0 is pointing to 2 and 3, and this part right here makes it not a function. Okay, and I'm going to write it out. Why? Because 0 has 2 outputs, okay? And each input is only allowed to have one output. So because 0 has 2, it's not a function. Okay, let's look at this one. So 0 has an output of 0, 1 has an output of 2, 4 and 8, 6 and 12. So does each output only have one input? Yes. So this one is a function. Okay, let's look at example 4 and 5. Number 4, what do we think? Yes or no? Is that a function? Yes, this is a function, right? Each input only has one arrow coming away from it. Okay, what about number 5? No, right? Because look, the input of 2 has an output of 0 and 1, and that's not allowed. The next section says a function may be represented using a rule that relates one variable to another. The input variable is called the independent variable. The output variable is called the dependent variable because its value depends on the value of the input variable. Okay, so for example, Okay, if the rule was the output is 3 more than the input. Okay, the output is, and then this part, 3 more than the input, right? The output is 3 more than the input. And as a table, if these are my inputs, okay, what's 3 more than 0? 3. What's 3 more than 1? 4. What's 3 more than 2? 5. And that's how that works. Okay, so let's look at example 6. It says the domain of the function y equals 2x is 0, 2, 5, 7, and 8. Okay, so I'm going to label these as my inputs, 0, 2, 5, 7, and 8. Okay, and then the y's are going to be down here. And it tells me that y is equal to 2 times x. So what's 2 times 0? 0. What's 2 times 2? 4. What's 2 times 5? 10. What's 2 times 7? 14. And what's 2 times 8? 16. So down here, it says write a rule for the following function. Okay, so let's look at it. So it's going to be, y equals. So when we're relating our y to our x, right? This is y, this is x. So if x is 0, how do I go from 0 to 2? I added 2. How do I go from 1 to 3? I added 2. How do I go from 4 to 6? I added 2. So it's whatever my x value is, and then I'm adding 2. So y equals x plus 2. Example 8 says you are buying concert tickets that cost $15 each. You can buy up to 6 tickets. Write the amount in dollars you spend as a function of the number of tickets you buy. Identify the independent and dependent variables, then identify the domain and the range. Okay, so what depends on what? Does the amount of money depend on how many tickets, or does the number of tickets depend on how much money? Okay, so the tickets determine how much money we're spending. Okay, or we could say the money depends on the tickets. Okay, so I'm going to say the money I spend is a function of the number of tickets, and it's 15 times every ticket that I buy. Okay, my domain is how many tickets I'm buying, right? It's my input values. I could buy 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6 tickets because it said I could buy up to 6 tickets. So if I bought 0 tickets, it would be $0. If I bought 1 ticket, it would be 15. 2 tickets is 30. 3 tickets, 45, 60, and 75.